connected to everything, and that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Oh wow! So
Such a
everybody's
bop.
having some bad weather. They had I'm sorry. They had some bad weather in St. Louis yesterday. It was raining pretty hard. Apparently, the streets was flooded, the highways was flooded. People are
Mm.
having power outages. Sending positive energy to Amanda, one of our co-hosts, who's not going to be able to be with us tonight, due to the bad weather. Girl, if you need me, call me. I got a big old sectional. It reclines. So yeah. This is God level things people don't want to talk about. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live/podcast. Um, I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a mother, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur at this podcast. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 5 hip hop albums streaming on all major platforms. I'm
Yeah.
also on YouTube. You can look me up on YouTube, John Skywalker. My latest album is Final Dimension. The song that you guys heard in the disclaimer, that's me. I Everything. That is the name of that track. You should go ahead and plug into that if you feeling that. Salute.
Absolutely. Salute. Ivy, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
What up, y'all? Just to mention, hey, gotta let you know, John's joint is a bop, yo. It's a bop. I say that every time I hear it. I don't know if you see me when we come out of the West End, I'll be over here like, what?
Yes.
What? I'm Ivy. If you haven't noticed already, I'm inattentive as hell. I talk a whole bunch. I'm your resident lady, old lady with all 47 of my hamsters because I'm inattentive Ivy on TikTok. I talk about ADHD. I talk about mental health issues. I'm a former retired broadcast journalist from the Army. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm a mother. I am a friend. I'm a sister. I'm a lover of life. I love psychology also. And I love this show. So thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Thank you. Creation Divine, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hello. I'm glad to be here this evening. I am Creation Divine, and creation was created to create.
You just too laid back for me. I swear. Then you have these moments like, fuck them all. I be like, what?
And I love it.
Right. We have a special guest with us tonight. I'm gonna probably say your name wrong. McGee. Did I say it right? Okay, McGee is gonna be joining us tonight while Saba Diamond and Dion Newborn do they Saba Diamond thing and newborn thing. That's what John be saying when I ain't here. She's handling God level business. They handle Saba Diamond business and newborn business. You
Yeah.
want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm just Israel McGee. I'm just a fill-in. That y'all just called me fill-in tonight. We all good.
All right, Phil.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And tonight we're for pump up our business. We have crafted condiments. Girl, this
Hello,
is
everybody.
she is actually like ex-husband's sister.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. And we
Hello,
still
everybody.
cool. You ready? You want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Oh, yes, awesome. My name is Diana. I am the creator of Crafts Crafted Condiments. This business was established maybe like 4 months ago, believe it or not, and I already have two flavors of hot sauce, which is amazing. And as you can see, the first one is the Reaper Creeper hot sauce made with Carolina Reaper peppers. It's a cooked hot sauce with onions and garlic. Really nice flavors there. Right now, we're working on our Scotch Scorpion pepper sauce. So that's going great as well. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on this platform today. I really appreciate it. And that's what we have going on right now. So,
Where can
yeah.
they buy it? Because I want
right
some.
now,
Yeah.
right now, we're actually on selling off of Facebook and eBay. I'm going to be on Amazon soon once I get more batches made up to be able to ship it
Mhm.
into them. Right
Okay.
now, I'm setting up stands and I'm selling like directly to the customer.
Mhm.
So that's been going well. People like to try hot sauce before they buy it a lot of times if they're not
Right.
like into it hardcore, because people are afraid of something called a Carolina Reaper or Reaper Creeper, you know. But honestly, it's a
Yeah.
really nice flavor
Scare the shit out
and
of
it's
me.
not overpowering.
Now,
It is actually not
Reaper,
overpowering.
that what is it called? What is the peppers that you're using?
Oh, and the Reaper Creeper is Carolina Reaper peppers, Serrano peppers, and hot habanero
Mm.
peppers.
Okay,
So
that's not
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
ghost
that's not
peppers.
horrible. Like this is something my brother actually uses. It. He's a truck driver. He actually takes this hot sauce with him,
Mhm.
and he put it on everything because he's saying out there in Texas, and those other states, the food is not always that great when you're a trucker
Mhm.
eating all that fast food. So he put the Reaper Creeper on everything because, as you all probably know, it's a flavor enhancer. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, now
Yeah.
where are you located at? Put your city on the map.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Reaper Creeper, home of the best hot sauce, baby.
So
There you go. There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean,
Okay.
we've been selling in all other like a lot of different states, which is pretty cool. Right now, I'm down in Louisville, and so we're making some sales down here as well, and it's just gonna
Okay.
keep going up and up and up.
That's what's up. Yeah, I can see your business growing pretty big. How so where can I go get it right now? Like I could just get on
You can
Facebook.
actually you can get on Facebook right now at Crafts Crafted and
Mhm.
inbox me, or you can go to the eBay link on my Facebook page to purchase a bottle. And that's what we're doing at this point. So on the 29th, I'm going to be a vendor at an event, which is posted on my Facebook page. If you all want, if you're in the Cincinnati area, if you want to come and support me, we're going to have giveaways. I'm going to have samples. It's going to be awesome. We got everything. We're going to have everything down there. We're just trying to get it out there so people can try it.
All right. Now, are you connected with our things that people don't want to talk about Facebook group?
I don't believe I am.
I need you to get on there so you can put
For
all of
sure.
your information on the group so people can see it.
Okay,
Yes.
that'd be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. I need some of that in my purse. Who is that? Who
Did somebody come in, join in?
somebody comment they need some of that in their purse. That's what's up.
And you do, and you should.
Yes. And one of our biggest things
Oh, never
on
mind.
on here is that we love to support Black business. I know it's a myth going around that says that Black people do not support um, Black business, but we do. So if you know anyone that want to come on here and pump up their business, please do. I will be
Yes.
finding that link. I will be getting me some hot sauce. I need at least 2 bottles. And also, she is the first person to purchase a God level hat for me. Oh no, t-shirt.
T-shirt.
When I
I love
first
shirts.
started, I have to yeah, I gotta
And I
show the link.
appreciate you bringing me up on
Oh,
here today. I really do.
absolutely.
Yes.
She was so excited. She was like, yes. I was like, now, do you want to stay along and be a guest?
I'm kind of nervous about being a guest. I'm not gonna lie to you because I'm not for sure. I watch the podcast though,
Mhm.
but yeah, I get kind of deep and heavy. I'm more. I like to laugh around and joke a lot. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
There is nothing wrong with that. There is
What I
nothing
do.
wrong with that. We like to give everyone that comes on that pumps up their business an opportunity to stay behind and be a part of the show. Yeah, and then you can keep your name up there, Crafts Condiments. You can go onto the live and put your information so they know how to get in contact with you for this hot sauce because Black folks love hot sauce and chicken. I'm sorry.
You crazy?
I'm serious. Chicken ain't no good unless you got a nice little bottle of hot sauce. And we've
Come on,
been,
man.
we've
Catfish neither.
been on Red Hot here lately in St. Pete's or Texas.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Yeah,
It's
that's why I did
but I would
something different.
right now. If you telling me that this is a flavor enhancement, like
Oh
it's
yeah.
enhancing the food. Let's
You see,
get it. Let's get it. I want to thank you for coming on and pumping up your business. Don't
Thank you
forget
so
to
much.
find our group on Facebook. Things people don't want to
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about. Drop your link. Let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. And I wish you the freaking best. Now, are
Thank
you
you so
staying or
much.
are you leaving?
I think I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna
Okay.
be in the chat. I'm gonna be in the chat.
All right, honey.
All right.
See you
Bye. Thank you
later.
so much. Nice to meet you all.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
She said, I think I'm I'm go. All right. Well, I want some of that hot sauce.
Me too.
I wanna try some.
Look, I just had to go get a piece of chicken and need some for it.
I'm telling you, right now right now for the next 30 days, I'm not eating any meat just to say, thank you to my ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Heard
this
that.
is day 3.
That's what's
I
up.
had some Alfredo yesterday without the chicken. It was hard, because you like to grill that chicken up, throw it in that sauce, and it tastes better the next day. But anyway, moving forward, tonight's topic is that the question? What does
No,
love
no, no. What does love
uh,
mean to you?
what does love mean to you? I'm not gonna start this one off. You know what?
Well, let's start off with why you chose this topic.
Yes.
Why did we choose this topic?
Hmm?
Notice I said we. I just threw all. I just
I
threw
like
y'all-
that. She just put
Oh.
everybody up
Notice
under
how I
the.
said.
Man, I don't know.
Do people know what love is? Is it personal? Is it per individual? You know,
Mhm.
it came behind because I wanted to talk about friends with benefits, then I wanted to talk about marriages, and then after that, I wanted to go into love. Love is the highest frequency there is out there. There is nothing higher than love. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, John.
You can't hear me?
Oh, okay, no, you have a delay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You have a delay, so that's why I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about it just to kind of keep the flow, because I know next week we're jumping into something. The next 4 weeks is going to be heavy, pretty freaking heavy. So who wants to start this off? Can we define love? Should we define love?
What year is it?
2023.
Well, that's how love is defined. It's defined by the year. I'm a 70s baby, so I remember 70s love. I remember 80s love. I remember 90s love, which was probably the best love, the 90s love. I remember 2000. It seemed like every year love is defined differently. So what's going on in 223? How are people loving in 2023? Because it's never consistent. Love has never been consistent over the years. All right, think about it. Okay, Ivy, what year were you born?
76.
Don't you do that?
I'm good with that. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Look, I look good for my age. I'm fine, baby.
There you go.
Absolutely do 100%. But my question is to you, 76 up until 2023. How many different times have you felt, seen, been involved with different types of love? Has it ever been consistent? And this is for everybody. This is for everybody on the panel. Tell me, because I know I'm 53 and I didn't felt 1,000 different types of love over my 53 years. So I'm saying, has anybody felt love consistently the same way?
Is love a feeling or an action?
Woo!
Wow.
Girl.
That's even better.
Girl.
Have you got the love of action the same way consistently?
You know, he's got a good point,
Yes.
because if you think
With
about
certain
it,
people.
yeah,
With certain people, yes.
yeah.
With
I guess
certain people.
just putting that out there, I'm like, if you think about it, like when we were kids, right? So back in the 70s, when we were born, love was, we love our toy, we love our parent, because that's what we knew. That was our world, right? As our world broadened, and as we expanded our surroundings, then we got a different definition of love. Even at 12, even at 23, like the 23-year-old Ivy had a different definition of love than the 46-year-old Ivy, So yeah, so love can take all kinds of different forms.
Yes, it can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
But I mean,
dare I say, love is all there is. All right. So I'm going to use my powers of deduction here. I commonly hear that God is love. Okay. So if you limit love, you limit God. We say God is everything. So, again, if God is love and God is everything, love is
Everything.
right. Now, here's where we get it. Here's where we get it confused, because we're talking about vibrations here. We're talking about energy. Love can take any form. It can be repulsed and it can be attracted. Okay. If it's everything, if love is everything, we say God is love and God is everything, love is all there is. So, what frequency of love are you tapped in? Something that a lot of people don't even tap into when it comes to, let's just say, if we're looking at religions, right? Even in Satanism, they acknowledge love. A lot of people don't even go look at their commandments. I dare anybody to go look at their commandments. You're like, what? This is what y'all on? Dang. This don't sound like a bad rap here. Like, what's really going on?
Are you
Right?
serious?
Go look it up. Matter of fact, you can type in "love is the law." It's in the book of the law. Aleister Crowley.
Their things, their commandments are pretty much just like do what you love and do as you will. Like,
Yep. And everything has a consequence. Yes. Right. So even in that, it's like, okay, how can there be love and wickedness? Right. But it's because we're on a different vibration. So we don't understand that. Love not only evolves, it is involved. There's an involution with love. It's not just evolution. Evolution is outwardly, it's expanding, it's going out. But love also involves, as in it's inclusive, it connects everything, it is everything. But because it vibrates differently, it has different vibrations, you start to look at this as distinct from that, and you start to see the illusion. The illusion is that this is disconnected from this is separate from me. I am separate from this and this other, right? So that's the illusion. It's separation. Yep. She found it. Looks like she stumbled across. Yeah. Yeah.
Girl!
So I'm only saying that because it can be found in everything. It is everything, but it takes on different vibrations. But I pose this question because the conundrum that a lot of us have is defining love. But as soon as you are specific about your love, as soon as you give it conditions, that's a definition. As soon as you say love is this, and I did post that question, right? I post that question, love it, or finish this sentence, love is. As soon as I say is, you complete that sentence, you gave the condition, you gave a definition to love. Now, I might not agree with your definition, but that's mainly me saying that exists. I just don't agree with it. This love exists. I just don't agree with it. It don't resonate with me. I'm not with it. I'm repulsed by that. Yes, you can do that in love. You can do that. Right? So I prefer a theory of love because theories lead to practice. You don't have to necessarily practice in terms of a definition. You practice in terms of a theory. So everyone has a theory of love and everyone has definitions of love. But the one that counts the most is the theory, because it's going to tell you everything about that individual's movement, their way of thinking, how they operate, how they receive love, how they express it, how they process it, how they feel it. That's the theory in which and you can update your theory according to your practice, according to what you discover. You explain love as this. Oh, well, I don't like how you did this to me. Okay, that's your theory because it's based off of your practice. But some people get, caught up in the definition, trying to define it. But all you're doing is you're just specifying and segregating and consolidating and conditioning the love. You're not saying necessarily, like even just saying the statement love is and just leaving it blank. Love is, and just stop there. Listen to those two words. Love is. It simply is. That's it. That tells you everything. Love is. That's it. And it can be anything. Say again?
I can dig it.
Right? So we can define it just in terms of, the world around us and all that. But what matters most in terms of us as human beings, as souls, is our practice. What are we practicing? So that's my spiel.
Okay, so if everybody lives off of their own theory of love, right?
Mhm.
And we all have these certain practices of love, then I'm like, but isn't there like a specific, aren't you supposed to be specific with your practices? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is every human being like living under, because you could, okay, I get what you were saying when you were like, okay, I'm not vibrating with your type of love, like this is unsafe to me, da 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 da. But I'm like, aren't there like accepted practices in whatever your theory of love is?
Oh,
I
so
mean, because I'm
now
like,
we're talking about culture. Now we're talking about culture. We can all have shared practices. Like, how are we learning? We still got to learn love, right? And learning is just, we're saying acquisition. When we say learning, we're acquiring. But we are love. Again, God is love.
Mhm.
We all came from the same source. So all we're talking about is love being individualized, love, diverse,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So you got your theory of love. You got your flavor of love. I don't even like saying that because that show. But you got your flavor of love. I got my flavor of love. Oh, okay. I like your flavor. Okay, let me go ahead and duplicate that. I like what you got going on there. I'm gonna duplicate that. We learn ourselves, and that's learning love, right? And you can learn up or you can learn down. You can learn left, right? Any direction you want to go. It's because love is also freedom, right? But then by saying love is freedom, you also just created the opposite. Love is also oppression because what's freedom without oppression? So we're only just it's different experiences of love. It's different experiences of the same essence. That's what we're doing.
I just want to go to the comments because we've got a viewer by the name of Mogul Mac who is blowing up. He's
Hey,
like,
Mr. Mac.
what?
I
Hey,
He
know
man.
Mr.
says
Mac.
he says if you're conscious, you're not yet experiencing love. And I'm like, for me, the way my brain works, I'm like, well, what do you mean exactly by conscious?
Mm,
Because I would think that everyone is conscious. Like I think if you're conscious, you're awake. I
mhm.
mean, maybe that's like
But
simplifying it and
awakening is a
barnifying it.
spectrum. Awakening is a spectrum. We're not, he
It
didn't say
is.
enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
It's all consciousness. Again, God is consciousness. So it's all consciousnesses. So what are we talking about when we say conscious? Like, because you conscious, but you're conscious of what?
Well, I'm
Myself.
gonna tell you why I agree with that. I think is that's a deep statement that brother made, right? Because love is so much preference. Like love is so much built on preference. Just think about it. Before you and your mate get into an argument, do you love them the same after that argument? Within that argument, like there loves like in certain situations, the way you love somebody that you're supposed to love becomes a choice,
Yeah.
or
It's
how
definitely a
much
choice.
how much you choose to love them in that moment, right? If you're arguing with this person, and let's just say you and your man arguing because he didn't cheated on you. You didn't love him up to the point that you knew he was cheating. Now that you know that he didn't cheated on you, is your love still consistently the same? Does your love go up? Does it go down? Does it change? Does it go away? Like there. See, that's big what that brother said. Like that's big. The consciousness thing is a real thing in love. It really is, because if we look at love based on what society says, then it says that it's impossible for you to love and for that love to change in a moment. But realistically, we know that love can change in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
It definitely can, depending on how somebody is treating your heart or how somebody is treating your soul. Love can go, it can run the fuck away, or it can stay put.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and here's the biggest irony of it all. Sometimes a person can treat you the worst and you can love them more.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Crazy is that?
Mm-hmm.
And And I know in certain situations we all have experienced it, but that's irrational.
Yeah.
So there is a consciousness to love. It definitely is. That was big. What's the brother name? Who said that?
His name is
Mr.
Noble
Mac.
Mac.
That was big.
That was Mr.
Shout
Mac.
out to that brother. Shout out to that brother. That was big. That was
Wow.
All
big.
right. So love makes you conscious, huh? Or
Mm.
love. Are we saying love only happens consciously?
Or love awakens you?
Because
Or love
I'll challenge it.
No, what he's saying,
he will.
he's saying you have to have a certain level of consciousness to have ever been in love or to be in love with somebody, period. Or to love.
Right.
You have to have
That
a certain
sounds different from. Hold on. That sounds different from
No conscious, no love.
love, conscious loving, right? So
Mhm.
being in love, and then there's conscious loving.
right.
So are we talking about being in love, or are we just
I
talking
don't
about loving?
think we've even gotten to that part. I think we just still
Okay.
stuck at the
Trying to define love.
just love. Yeah, I think we still stuck there. We ain't got to that advanced stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning. I'm just gonna be listening.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
I'm
So
learning.
I hear. I mean, I guess when you. So I mean, there's not even really a need to try to even define the different types of love, because I was like, yeah, we can talk about agape love, and we can talk about love
Yeah.
for humankind, love for your career, love for the people in your family, blah 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 blah
Love
blah
of
blah blah.
money.
But, right. I mean, but oh man, well wait, you can. Okay, so do you necessarily have to be conscious to love something? Because you just said love
That's
of
what I'm
money,
saying.
right?
Look, you can precondition yourself to love unconsciously, so it's automatic. No different than anything else. So okay, hey, why did you do that? Why did you go out and say that person? Man, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. It's just I saw it and I just reacted. You hear those all the time.
You do.
I think it's more so about fairness in love, to love fairly. You know what I'm saying? To have respect when it comes to love, to love in a way that people understand. I think that's really what is really geared more to us, because listen, if you think about it, right, and me and you were talking about this earlier, like it's ways that you can love people just because of what they represent in your life. But outside of that, that's all that it really is, right? So how fair is it for God level, for your children's father to say, I love you because you gave me my children, but I could care less if you walked in front of a car and got ran over?
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? Like that,
disconnected.
that's a huge contradiction in love, right?
It is.
Right. So my thing is, as a
Why you
man,
using me as an example?
I'm sorry.
Damn.
No
I
pun.
love you for the kids you gave me, but if you died today or tomorrow, I wouldn't.
Right. And women, I heard women say
Basically, what he said.
I hear women say it all the time. I love my baby daddy because he gave me my kids, but he ain't
Yep,
shit.
I've heard it.
He ain't
Yeah,
shit.
it is. Thank you, Mr. Mac.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's my point though. Like there's a very conscious way to love somebody and respect somebody. So if I'm gonna say to you, God level, as my children's mother, I'm gonna say I love and I appreciate you for giving me my children, but it stops there. That's being conscious. That's me being conscious by not even adding that other part to it. You see what I'm saying? That's me being conscious about speaking to love, and it just being as real as it can possibly be.
Okay, so just because of the fact that you don't add that second part in there, does that mean that you still can't qualify? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you feel. I mean, that just means that you've just been conditioned.
So you trying to call me out now? You trying to call?
No, listen. I like to throw shit in the pan and see if it don't stir. Okay, I like to ask questions.
No, you are 100% right. You
I'm
are
still stuck on the fact that he used me.
because 9 times out of 10, that's probably still what I'm feeling in my heart. I'm still feeling that way in my heart, but I'm just not gonna say it.
But I mean, is that still qualified as love?
Shit.
Still the way that you feel? Like, okay, so So
I think
mogul,
it does. I think it does. I think it does because how many times has somebody said, you know, everything that you're thinking doesn't need to be said?
Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So I
okay.
think that's a conscious way right there of speaking in general. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like we can sit here and we can have this conversation, all of us, right? And the minute somebody starts shouting, screaming, cursing, we all turn off because of that presentation. You can always present something in a certain way that will almost demand a person's attention. But you can also present it in a certain way that nobody will listen, period, or want to listen, period.
Yeah.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I've been going through conflict resolution, right? They tell you when you're actually going through conflict resolution classes, they're like, speak to the other person in love, right? So while your mind might be sitting there thinking like, oh, I really want to, say blah 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 blah. What you're doing is because of the fact that you love that person, you're speaking to them differently. So you're doing that and you're speaking to that person differently, and you have those tools because you're doing it in love. So
Right.
that's the reason why you can say, I love my baby mama or I love my baby daddy. And I love them because of the fact that they gave me my kids, and leave it right there because you're speaking in love and you don't want to take away from them.
There you
Oh, okay. And
go.
Max said, the- he said that love is a verb. Uh, Melissa said loving people count. That's my girl. That's the one who got married last week, by the way. Hi, Mel. I love the fact that you're watching.
Congratulations.
Yay! She was the one who had the Batman as the official there. Anyway, so now I see what you're tapping into. You're basically saying, so love is a verb. If that is, love is the verb, and it can be constructed as everything if you're deciding to bring things out of yourself as love.
There you
I guess I guess I can see what you're saying. Like, and you have to be awoken to other people and how they feel about things if you're going to be tempered enough to bring stuff to them in love.
Right.
I can rock with it for that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
I like the
All
way
right.
you did that. I like the way you did that.
All right.
Who said love is the sacrificial act?
I'm
Mobile Mac
looking
again.
now, Mr. Mac, because I'm looking. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you need that. He won the prize for the night. That listen, that right there.
Sacrifice.
Ooh, man, listen, that ain't nothing but the God's honest truth right there, boy. Love is a hell of a sacrifice.
Have we gone
Yeah.
over the definition, like according to American's most trusted dictionary, the Oxford or
No,
Merriam
got it, girl.
no,
You
No?
got it, girl.
no. If
We
you want
talked
to,
about
go
that
right
earlier.
ahead,
Okay.
But even still, and I saw that when love is a verb. A lot of people say that. We say that, right?
but
It's
it
the
is.
whole sentence. Love is the whole sentence.
Mm.
It's the whole poem. It's the whole verse. It's the whole book.
Wow. Ooh. Sit, poet.
Why are we stop? I mean, we usually go, "Oh, love is a verb." Okay, and finish the sentence. And love is the noun. Okay, love is the adjective. Love qualifies too. Love add flair. Takes
Love
away.
is the main
Man,
character.
So I want
I'm telling you, we put limitations on love.
So I want to throw this out there because earlier scrolling through, right? Mogul Max said financial love is not real. And I'm like,
No,
but
it's not.
says who? Who is defining that? Right? Who is defining
Because
that?
when we're
What
talking
is
about, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no,
Mr.
you got
Mac,
it.
I was gonna say,
Mr. Mac, our number is 832-479-9035. You got this woman itching to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Can you please
Come
come
on.
in?
when we're talking about finances, we're
Yeah,
just talking about a tool.
That's the leading love in
Mm.
society right now. Financial love. That's the number one. That's at the top. That's the number one love.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
Financial
just
love,
another
that's
flavor.
what's
It's a
going on
tool.
today. I'm sorry, it's financial love. That's the number one love that's going on today.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Is it love for finances or is it love for the security that finances bring though?
The thing about it is, okay, so let me say that right there to this, right? And I want to say this quick. The problem with that is that the finances generate the emotions and the feelings. So it would be different. It would be different if a woman could say, "I love you for who you are." Now let me look at your finances. But it's not that. It's your money, and then let me start loving you.
Yeah,
Let me see what
you
you
put
can
the
do for
tool
me.
before the person.
Right. Then I'm gonna start to feel for you after I figure out what you can do for me.
Oh, man.
Damn.
That's the
That's
problem.
what we got. That's today. That's today's
Yeah,
times
that's
right
today.
That's
now.
Materialism.
That's
All
today.
you got to do is go look up and down your Facebook feed. It's there daily.
Oh, I love you for who you are. But let me see what them dollars doing.
What is
Ah!
Oh, wait. Okay, Mr. Mitchell Harris. To each his
Each
own.
their own. You have
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's all up. Yeah.
all up.
Indeed. And that's my point. It's gonna be that way. It's gonna be that way. If you ask, if we were able to do as a species collectively,
Mr. Mack.
if we were to ask this question, love is, and you hear all the different answers, you're gonna hear some of that.
You are coming through loud and clear. I got Mr. Mack on the line, Miss Ivy.
Let me prepare
Mr.
these
Mack, how you
questions.
doing
Hold
this
on.
evening?
Hold on. Let me
Hold
write down
on.
these
Let me
questions.
wait. Let's ease him into it first, honey.
No easing
How
for
you
you.
doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm loving this discussion.
Oh, well, and thank you for watching. We
Hey.
really appreciate it. Make sure you share the live and go ahead and I don't know if you're on the Facebook group, share that too as well. But you got Miss Ivy ready to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Miss Ivy, you ready?
Listen, I got my pen, I got my paper, I got my ginger water. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I just want to have a disclaimer. I keep everything as simple as possible. I stay away from complexities because the more complex and the more questions you ask about something that's already in your DNA and natural, then that's just a sign that you're drifting away from how simple these things are, right? So I think you mentioned something about financial love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I said that, I just meant you love somebody, you got your house, your finances, your bank, your cars, until you have a hurricane or a natural disaster. So are you going to have that same degree of love before and after that tornado? That's all I'm saying. Anything can happen in the financial world. And so that's why you get so many people, their mistake was rooting their love in finance. And so when fluctuation came, they couldn't maintain. And that's why I think you guys like you do in the West. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, in a lot of cases, it was built on something unreal and contingent on something unreal. So, I mean, I hope that answers your question a little bit.
No, he's not lying. And I said this last week. When our business went bad, we went bad.
You did. Yes, you did.
I just said this. So he's not lying. When things was comfortable and we were handling our business and we was reaching those goals, when that stopped, we stopped. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Mr. Kraft, I'm sorry.
Materialism. Okay. Materialism.
You
I think I heard something else earlier too. I'm ready.
Go ahead. He said he's ready.
Okay, so I feel like what I hear you saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Was he speaking? Go ahead.
I'm listening.
Okay. All right. So I guess what I hear you saying is you're saying like the westernized view is based off of what we have done here in America. America was built off of capitalism. So like Ishmael said like a little bit ago, I love you for who you are, but let's see what those finances are doing. Let's crack open this book. So when we speak about Western love, we're speaking about what it is that somebody can do for them. And it's very much conditional, but who says this is really real or if it's not real?
It's instrumental.
To that person, right. Because to that person, that might be having that security or whatever it is behind it might be the biggest thing, right? So I guess if we take away everything that we have learned in Western society, right? which is really hard because we have been so conditioned. If we take away everything, I'm thinking like back in the bush in Africa, sitting on a zebra with a bone through my nose, right? What is it that you loved? What did you fall in love for? What did you fall in love for? Is that what love is supposed to be? Like you said, you have a tornado takes down the house, you got hard times. How you gonna keep on loving somebody when you're not Maslow's
Mm.
hierarchy, when you're not safe, when you don't have a home, when you don't have
Basic
security,
needs.
right? When you don't have your
Mm.
basic needs, right? So I
Right.
think what I hear you're saying is that you're just saying that you have to be open enough to see through. I don't explain that. Explain that to me. Explain it
Well,
to me the way, like break it down to Barney, because I'm thinking now. Okay, maybe we are. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking. I'm like maybe I got it
you
completely wrong.
understand.
I'm thinking
I
bush
do
woman
understand.
on a zebra with a bone in her nose. What does she have to love?
Now check this out. I think when you all mentioned eras, you said the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, which one was the best love? The fact is that culturally, our individual type of love has been hampered with over every era. I'm not going to get too far, but a lot of holidays. So we're trying to practice love while fusing two different cultures together.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see through the statistics that for some reason we are the most unsuccessful at maintaining a household, which is love. Love is only knowing your true purpose for being with an individual. That's where it started. So if we could start off learning what our type of love is, then I think we can maintain this love through the fluctuation. But unfortunately, we're adopting somebody else's Valentinish Greek type of idea of love, and that's when we get so many constant, all the fragmentation in our families. So I think if you are at the front end and you are rooted, then you can handle whatever. Losing a house, you're going to have wealth anyway if you keep your family together. But if you get more towards a little shallow area where your love is contingent on materials or status, then in most cases, Michael Jordan and Jeff Bezos couldn't keep it together. They had all the money. That's because they weren't rooted correctly to maintain that love through that scenario. Hope that answers your question.
What? First, one question. What's the root?
I'm listening.
What is the root?
Go ahead.
What is the root? What do you need to be rooted in? Right? Where is the place that people need to be rooted in? What do you need to be rooted in?
You need to be rooted in self-awareness, who you are, how you got here. You know what I'm saying? This is not, and it's our own culture, because to maintain love as people of color is not like everybody else. That's just the way it is. And I think
Call it a buck.
Understand that this is more of a journey that you taking together rather than, my boyfriend, girlfriend, all of these little game-ish names that we adopted from somebody else, because they don't practice love the same way on every part of the world. And you can see whose families are more. I think we're the most divided households in the world.
Facts.
There's no more. I believe that's a fact, right? Like it's almost expected for it not to work. It's very regular, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? I think our culture is known for not being together. It's even in film. You never see whole families in film. That's because they can sell that, because we so fragmented. And so I think if we turn around how love is delivered and defined to us, back to the roots, back to our foundation, back to what cultivates our culture, then we can move forward with a true definition. But I think we adopted somebody else's definition.
That just blew my mind.
Somebody else love. That's the man I love. Like you said, the 70s, the 80s, it was different. It's still corrupted, and because we've been through a lot. But I really think I love this topic too. By the way,
Thank you.
Yeah, brother, you speaking like you love it.
I mean,
He said you speaking like you love it. Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah, he is. Oh wow.
oh yeah, yeah. I had to jump in. I mean, I experienced the ups and downs. The part where you totally surprised. You can't believe this is the person that you ready to go to war with, and they do this. Like, completely unexpected.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get it.
my mind,
get it.
Mr. Mogul Mac, my mind is blown. And I didn't. I'm sorry, Renee. Excuse me, God
No,
level.
it's
I did not
okay.
mean to-
I see all of our quotes coming from his phone conversation.
like all of them, because
All
my
of
mind
them.
is blown. Do you know what I just came up with? What just came up for me? I'm sorry. Was he about to say something? Go ahead.
No. I'm just thanking you and appreciate you. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I look at other nations that have far less. They got far less. How are they maintaining this genuine, pure love? It's an economic thing. And so.
Yeah, my mind, my mouth is agape and my mind is like blown right now, because for me, what I just connected just off of what you said, right, is that because of the fact that we have come over and as a people, we have been so disconnected from our roots. We've been so broken. I mean, in fact, we had 300, 400 years of people breaking our roots, literally.
Yes.
And maybe the reason why it's so hard. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say maybe
he's listening. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was just thinking maybe the reason why it's so hard for a lot of our households to put it together is because of the fact that we're so fragmented from where we came. Because of the fact that maybe we're trying to get back what was lost. We're trying to get back what was lost, and we don't understand how to gain it. So we're trying to gain a definition of something that we really don't even understand on a cellular level, because that's not us.
Remember. Something we don't remember.
Something we don't remember, something that we're trying to I'm sorry, my mind is blown. I'm gonna shut up for the rest of this. I'm putting myself on mute. I'm done.
No.
We listening.
That's good.
She really did put herself on mute.
No, she was flowing. I was listening.
Oh my God. Thank you. I'm learning. I'm just listening, and that makes so much sense. I love how you broke that down. Ivy, take yourself off of mute.
Girl, I am blown.
Yep.
Well, something. I just
go on and on. I don't want to overdo the platform, but
No, you're fine.
go on and on. What's that?
Okay, well, I want to thank you for calling in. Ivy, do you have any more questions for this man?
My hamsters, they're spinning. They're gonna pop up. So keep watching. Keep watching,
She
Matt.
said keep watching.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I appreciate it, everybody.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right.
you know what's crazy? I'm just sitting here listening to him talk. And and this is just me personally. I'm talking about my own experiences. But what I know is that in my 30s, love was strictly connected to sex. Like I loved a woman based on the emotion and the feeling that I got when we had sex. Then in my 40s, it was still somewhat of the same, but I felt myself in change mode. And now love has absolutely nothing to do with sex. It's all about how well we connect on an intellectual level, right? Just that, the way that evolved, right? Just thinking about what he was saying, the way that evolved. And I think for everybody, And I don't even know how, your mother, your father can teach you how to love, how to feel love, what point that you should feel love. I don't know that can be taught. I think that's something that you have to grow into through experience, because when we're younger, it's all emotion, it's all feeling, it's all a connection. That's what it is. So when do we really evolve to the point that we begin to know what I'm feeling is love? What age is that? What experience is that?
Wow.
How do we know, right? And so I just knew, because every woman that I was with that I thought I loved, the sex was good, right? But then when I got with a woman where the sex wasn't that good, I realized I loved her for something other than that. That was my growth. That was my real maturity, my real growth as a man, right? That's when I began to evolve into something better as a man, right? So now I don't care anything about sex, but I care more about how we meet on an intellectual level. I care more about those things that I've never had before. And I'm aware of them so much now that I'm older, and I didn't care about them when I was younger. You see how that works? Because the sex, the emotion of sex, it stops there. Everything stopped there. Everything. It's how well that nut felt, how well that head felt. That's what all the emotion was tied into. All the love was tied into that. So now that I've gotten older, I'm realizing, okay, that ain't doing it for me no more. What is it now? So how do we evolve to the point of even understanding how love captivates us, how love drives us, how love makes us want to pour into another person, and even more importantly, how love makes us want to stick with that person forever?
Yeah, how do you define somebody who you really want to live with for the rest of your life?
How do you do that?
Or is the act of love itself just the beginning point for deciding that you want to be with somebody for the rest of your life? Or do you pick up tools along the way? Do you learn? Do you have to learn? Do you both have to learn? Man, listen, I'm about to throw my shoe at this computer. I can't try. I can't.
The wheels is turning over there. Like,
Well, that question
Girl.
was posed in the group.
how do you know you are being loved?
All right. So Shelly says love is an action, not just words or feelings. It's a choice. Feelings make you wonder. Actions let you know. That's from Josh. I kind of like that.
One. Yeah.
I kind of like that. Like that. Actions that reflect thoughtfulness and appreciation. That's how you know.
Okay.
Oof, these are tough, still very subjective. Actions, most definitely, but also behavior and attitude are a big importance when it comes to romance. Sometimes people get into the habit of doing things, so they are just going through the motions with the wrong attitude and mindset. Romance requires inward change that produces outward actions. So I see a lot of push towards behavior and action. That's how you know. But it seems like we're kind of chopping it up, because love is an experience, right? And a lot of the times it's a full experience. It's, what are you thinking while you're feeling? What are you feeling while you're thinking? What do you see? And does what you see align with what you feel? Does what you see align with what you're thinking? You're observing, you're feeling, you're touching, you're tasting, you're thinking. It's supposed to be a full experience, right? So, and there's intensity. There's, intensity levels. How intense is this love? Right? If you, I don't know, you were, some would say the ultimate form of love is self-sacrifice. So someone feeding you when you didn't have any food, and they spoke to you warmly, and they gave you respect, and they actually saw you, and they heard your story. And in that moment, you felt that. Now, everybody's not going to feel that, okay? But in that moment, you were open to feel this person giving you the food. You were open to see that this person was giving you food, and you made a connection psychologically between the food and this person and their voice, right? It's an experience, it's an exchange. There's a connection, right? And there's an awareness of all this happening at the same time. But some people can distort the experience. It could be genuine love from the outside coming in, but some people can distort that experience. That is both unconscious and conscious, right? So I'm loving you enough to call you by your name instead of calling you up, you know, or I'm opening doors for you, or I'm writing a book report for you, or I'm helping you with the book report, or I'm being patient with you as you're trying to learn how to drive your car. You know, it's these actions, right? But there's a feeling, you are seeing, you are thinking, and you're recording, you're documenting this. But even in that, that's from the outside. This is the outside. What are you feeling during all that? And then there's virtues, right? Because we're still talking about love being a spiritual experience, right? It's spiritual. So virtues, being kind is a principle, it's a virtue. That's not found physically, but you can experience and feel kindness. You can feel that. You can push it outwards, you can manifest it however you want, but it's up to the observer to know that's what it is. Hence, we got culture. Culture says being kind is allowing the person to yield in front of you when you're in traffic. Being kind is, oh, you know what? Hey, I got 50 cents. I'll cover your change. Being kind is, hey, your kids need book bags. I got you. Right? So there's so many ways that kindness, but this is a principle. Patience, same thing. So we look to virtues, but that feeling may not always be there. You may not feel the kindness coming from this person, but you can recognize it.
Wow.
You may not feel it, but you can recognize it. So that's the very interesting part, is the way you experience love can influence the feedback loop. Hey, I don't know if I'm being loved right now. She's smiling in my face. She cooked me breakfast, but I don't know if she really loves me. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I think this is all a ploy, right? And now my mind working. My mind working against me. It might be real, or I could be right.
Corey, you had your turn last week, Corey.
Is Corey back on?
Corey is back on.
Look
you know
at that.
We're gonna start calling Corey the love doctor.
Listen,
love is deeply personal and a subjective experience. Yes, it can take on different forms and expressions depending on the individuals involved. The true meaning of love may vary from person to person, but it is often regarded as one of the most profound and enriching emotions we can experience as human beings. There it is. We also say love is a feeling.
I can't with Corey.
It's interesting to me that the word love, I mean, you know, I don't know how old I was when I was introduced to the word love, but the emotions that are supposed to come along with that word, that was something that I guess I learned through, you know, my surroundings, my culture, people using the word love, and then, you know, love is this and this means love, and if they do. And it's like, really, like, what does love have to do with it? And why are we putting so much emphasis on that word and trying to take that word and attach it to our experiences, our feelings? Why love? You know, who says why? You know, what's love got to do with it?
Hey, sing it.
So it's kind of like, with me, it's like, you know, I'm just trying to come away from all y'all know, you know,
the dogma,
all of it, all of it, you know. So I'm trying not to. I say I'll put a tag sometimes if I share something, you know, always love, and just merely from the definition of love as I have read it, a strong affection, you know, strong affection for someone, but anything deeper than that.
Well, go ahead and let's get your take. How do you know you personally? How do you know when you're being loved?
I don't relate like that.
The Maverick.
I don't relate like that anymore. I mean, I have, you know, but it don't work. It don't add up a lot of times to how I've tried to relate to it. So at this point, it's kind of like you said, you know, people show kindness. That's what that is. That's kindness. I don't put the word love on it. You know, that was love because they did this, or that was love because they did that. I call it what it is and keep it pushing.
Wow.
This is a moment of transparency for me, if y'all don't mind.
Absolutely. Come on.
I want to stay on topic, but I also want to speak about it in a slightly different way, right? So, I don't know if y'all know that I'm homeless, right? I've been homeless for about 8 weeks. I've literally slept on the street, in hotels, everything. But you know something? Like, what I'm learning throughout this process is that when I came into it, I was an emotional wreck because I had never been in this situation in my life. I couldn't relate to it, right? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what avenues to go down to try to make it better, right? And so I've seen people literally sleeping in front of stores. I've seen people sleeping on the ground. And I've also seen the way that people have been treated who are homeless. And what I've learned is there are different levels of being homeless, right? And there are different reasons why people are homeless. And I fell in love with people who are homeless being in the situation that I'm in. I fell in love with those people. I began to love those people. And I began to say to myself, I want to hurry up and fix my situation so I can do something to help them. Right? That love evolved inside of me, not so much from me being homeless, but it evolved inside of me because I began to realize that there are people that people will not love no matter what. They won't show them any type of decency. They won't show them any type of respect. And I understand there are people who are homeless because they want to be homeless. There are people who are homeless that have no control over their homelessness. There are people that are homeless, not living on the street, but don't have a home. That's why they're homeless. See, there's different levels. But when you get to a certain level being homeless, people have no respect for you whatsoever. They treat you any kind of way. They talk to you any type of way. They will literally step on you to get over you, like literally. And I saw this, and there was just a love that formed in my heart for these people, right? And we lack empathy so much nowadays because we take for granted that we're going to always walk in the door. We're going to always have a bed to sleep in. We're going to always have food to eat, right? And I have to admit, at some point in my life, I might have been one of those people. Not to treat a homeless person that way, but to kind of disregard them as being, okay, you asking for money, go get a job. I see this, and in a lot of situations, you don't know a person's story. I talked to an older guy the other day, man, and he's always out with a cup asking for change. And I just see the way people treat him sometimes, the way people talk to him sometimes. And I just wanted to just talk to him and just hear his story, you know? And he told me, he said, man, and I'm thinking he's way older than me, because this is what the streets have done to him, have aged him this way. I'm 53. This dude is 49. And he looked every bit of like he was 65 or 66. And so I just wanted to talk to him, and I just wanted to hear his story. Like, what happened? How did you get to this point? You understand what I'm saying? He told me, he said, man, my mother was a drug addict. I was born in a jail. My mother had me when she was in jail. She said, he said, he told me he went into the foster care system. He said when he got out of the foster care system, he was about, I think he said he was 18 when he came out of the foster care system. I think that's what he told me. Might not be verbatim, but I'm trying to remember everything. But he said when he came out that he didn't have a grip on reality because he didn't have the essential things that a parent should give a child. He didn't have that, right? So he went to the street looking for those things. He went to the street looking for people to teach him those things. And the street taught him a lot. It just didn't teach him anything beneficial. Now, this man has never been to prison. He's never been on drugs. He's never done drugs. He doesn't even drink alcohol. But what he doesn't have a true understanding of how to take care of himself in life. And I'm going to tell you, that hurt me. That hurt me to my core. And you always think that you going through something, but there's always somebody out there. And this man didn't have a bad word to say about nobody. Just happy to be able to have that cup out there and try to get him some change. And I just like, I got so much love in my heart for some of these people, man. And I just want to do so much to be able to help them when I can get myself together, right? And so you were just talking about that, and I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, you may never, ever, ever in life feel like you've been loved, but the one way I found to understand love is to give it.
Yes.
Is to give it. That's how I feel like you can reach the highest level of love. Because even without understanding love, giving it just takes you through a whole educational course. A whole educational course.
Wow.
I'm done.
That's
Wow.
wow. Thank you for, man.
Speechless.
You know, you hear that so often where they tell you like the ultimate form of love is not to focus on yourself and what it is that you're getting, but instead of what it is that you're giving.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Altruism. Yeah.
Yeah, being altruistic. And I've been speechless twice. I'm about to put myself back on mute.
Don't put yourself back on mute. Thank you for sharing that. That's a good thing. Show love, give love. And you love someone and you showed him love and you sat down and you talked to him. That was a form of love. And what's the word I'm looking for? Because I know what you did, because I do it all the time at work. You took the worst of the worst and you showed them some love. I do it all the time at work. Yeah. So yeah, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Are you going to continue to do that?
I'll never stop. I'll never stop. It's just that I just want to get to a point where it's just not verbal, you know, verbal. Like I can go in the store or I can go in a restaurant and buy food, and like I want to do something that makes a difference. I don't want to just keep talking about it.
Ooh, beautiful. Yeah.
But I tell you what, being in a situation is the most realistic way to really understand, because people just assume when you're homeless you're done something wrong. You know what you do to your family. You on drugs, you an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, we gotta stop assuming the worst in people, and we gotta talk to people.
Yeah.
Get to know
And
people.
find out why.
Yeah, why? Everybody is not a bad person. Everybody is not weak. Everybody is not incapable. Like, that's just not everybody's story. I became homeless from a bad relationship.
Mm.
That's how I became homeless, from a bad relationship. I became homeless trying to love the wrong person.
Ooh.
Everybody has a different story. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to, at some point in time, say, okay, I'm gonna step out of the norm, and I'm gonna have a conversation with this person. Again, there are a lot of people out here who are on game, who trying to run game. That people ain't got to be homeless to be doing that. People ain't got to be homeless to be bad people. Like, that's not. It just doesn't stop, or it doesn't end or begin there. You know, some of the richest people in the world are the worst people in the world. So it's just not about. It's not about status. We just got to take time to really just talk to people, and get to know people. And I personally just have been blessed from the perspective that I can do this. I can talk.
Yeah.
If I couldn't talk, then I would be in the same situations as some of these other people. It's just because I can talk. I can express myself. And as a black man, this is the absolute worst situation that you can be in, because you will get zero help. Because they're going to tell you, you're a man. Figure out, if you sick, heal yourself. You make all black men look bad. You got to figure out. You got to do better. It's not going to be any help for you. It's only going to be negative connotations from people spitting craziness at you. And what has hurt me more than anything is that it's come from my black women. It has come from black women.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, what's coming from black women?
Just the negativity, negative comments. I'm not saying y'all. I'm not saying.
No, when you get to talking about black women
have been the ones who have had the most negative things to say to me about being homeless. And it's been black women.
That's a conditioning. I think that if you have heard, that's a conditioning.
Absolutely, it is. And so I'm mindful enough not to feel like all black women are bad because of that.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You didn't want to open up that door.
Yeah. We don't want to go. We don't go to.
We don't want to open up that door, because I would have threw some facts out there for your ass.
I saw it on your face.
Yeah. I would have threw some facts out there for your ass.
I'm really happy that you shared your story about how, like how you're taking the altruistic route to love. Like that's really, really important. I think that's really important for people to hear too.
Damn, John.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just think that it's because I know that John likes to. He's
his
probably
facial
like
expressions always give him away. I just sent him a message and he just, it's okay.
No, but I was just saying, I was like, thank you for sharing, because I think that's something that people don't really talk about a lot either. They don't talk about, like altruism and giving of yourself in order to show love. I think that's really important too. That's a different type of love. And then also, like, kind of what you're explaining is like, it's kind of like connecting, having a connection, having a commonality with other people, so that you feel heard and seen. Like that's also even like Creation Divine was saying, like that kindness, showing graciousness. Like I think that those are also different types of ways that you can show love. So that's really, really important.
100%.
And it's actually, I think that that's a way that you kind of show self-love. Like you show self-love if you have enough that is running over, then that way that you can actually say, I have enough. I have filled myself up with enough love that I'm able to give to other people, and not being necessarily selfish, leading into the question that you popped up right there, like being able to distinguish between self-love and selfishness is, I think, some of it has to do with altruism. I'm sorry, go ahead, John, because I know you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a good point too. Some people do give from an empty place. They give with the expectation of a return,
Yeah.
right? So it's all right. I'm actually loaning you this love. I can't really afford to love you, but I'm gonna give you this in hopes that you're gonna give it back to me at a later date, probably next week. I'm gonna need that back next week. There are people that's doing that, but unconsciously, they don't know that they're doing it, right? But
I have no idea.
woo,
Putting
No,
love
I
on long,
don't.
baby.
It's a manipulation. The best love to give is without expectations, and I think I've learned that from John. I've learned that from John. Give without expectations. That's when you set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, and that's kind of what John does. John, I mean, if he comes right down to it, dude, you're like the definition of like self-love.
all right, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're gonna talk about
What are we not doing? What
self-ins-
are we not doing? What are we not doing?
We're not gonna talk about John, his flavor of love.
No,
I'm not taking my flowers right now. I'm
no,
not taking it. I'm not doing it.
No. But when you ask, have you had love that was consistent? John loves me like a sister. So yes, I can say that. Yes. It's been consistent from day one all the way up until now. This is consistent. He's been teaching me a lot about myself. I love it. Thank you, John. He ain't going nowhere. John, happy belated birthday. Did you enjoy your day?
To the question.
He about to pass out. He about to pass out right now.
Question.
I can't with y'all.
No, I want to know about your birthday. Did you enjoy yourself? What you get?
No, I don't. That's why nobody's supposed to know about the birthday, because I don't know what it's gonna be. Like, oh yeah, next year this is my birthday. I don't know what's gonna happen until I get
John,
there.
you and my grandmother share the same birthday.
Aww.
Indeed.
When he told me that, I knew he was special. It's like my grandmother sent them to me. She knew I was going to need help, and she sent me John. Thank you, John. Thank you, Granny. So yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Enough.
She's like, this is my sidebar. I'm coming back. So what did they say? What did they say in the group? How is selfishness different from self-love?
Yeah, we had some good responses, but essentially almost everyone was saying the same thing, just in their, in their unique way. Chris said that selfishness, I'm probably not going to read all of these like in full length. Selfishness is about doing what you want at the expense of others. I like that part. That's very accurate. Self-love is about doing what's best for you. Doing what is best for you would include discipline and maintaining relationships with people who care about you. Can't be selfish if you're maintaining healthy relationships and focusing on discipline so that you're doing what's most beneficial for yourself in the long run. Selfishness is smoking crack and stealing to get your next high. Self-love is eating right and going to the gym to stay in shape so you can stay active or attractive for your partner and please them physically in recognition of the work they do to keep you happy. Tracy says, to me, selfishness is greed of obsession over keeping things from others to have, and self-love is knowing to give yourself boundaries to not deplete self for everyone. Self-love from Mike. Self-love comes from a positive place. Selfishness comes from a toxic place. All right, Marty was being funny. Ivy says self-love has introspection as a compass. So you're looking inward. All right. Selfishness has none. Self-love is about taking care of yourself so you can be full of service for whatever comes up in your life. Selfishness is about taking advantage of people, places, and things to fill yourself with a false sense of love. The lines can blur unless you sit back and take a look at your motivations for actions. So what's the difference? Introspection and balance. Raphael said perspective. That's the difference. Perspective. Okay, I can rock with that. Jamie says selfishness is all ego. I'm right, I'm the best, and you aren't. Self-fullness is filling your own cup to the brim so everyone else gets a splash with your magnificence. When you give from the overflow, you will never feel depleted or used.
That part.
That's the one.
That part. The overflow.
Yeah. The overflow.
We were
crazy.
just talking about that in altruism, because you got to be like, you have to be full in order to like, in order to give from a pure place, I guess. You know?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You have to.
Go ahead.
No, I've talked enough.
that just
Coming up on an hour and 20 minutes.
that just reminded me of one thing. I remember that there was a time, and I want to say this to John because you were a trainer, right?
Yes, sir.
So I was a trainer for 16 years, and one thing that I realized, I want to say this to you. One thing that I realized is that as a trainer, you become so many other things. You become a life coach, you become a marriage coach,
And
you become a lot of things, right?
Therapist. Yep.
And therapist, yeah, all of that, because the more people trust you, the more they're gonna confide in you as their trainer. So what happened to me was I poured so much into people, trying to uplift them when they didn't know how to uplift themselves, trying to be those therapist coaches. I did so much that when it came time for me to need what I needed for me, I didn't have any. I had gave it all away, right? And my point is that this is why you have to know how to love who you are, because loving you allows you to put a cap on that. It allows you to not give so much of yourself, because you're going to need it for yourself. I'm telling you, you're going to need some for yourself, right?
Yes.
But that self-love allows you to put a cap on that and say, okay, enough is enough. I need this for me. I need this for the times when I'm struggling, when I need, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of that. You got, because when you're a trainer and you really care about trying to make people better, it's easy to lose yourself in that. And that's what I did. I lost myself in wanting to help other people. Just be mindful. Be mindful of that.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, Melissa asked a question. She says, how do you, I'm sorry, you probably meant to do that. She says, how do you figure out how to balance that out though?
The way you figure out how to balance it out is, again, you have to have a threshold, and we all have one. We all have a threshold, right? The only way you don't have a threshold is if you don't go through anything in life. If your life is 100% perfect, you don't go through nothing, okay, then you don't need that, because you're good. You ain't never gonna have no problems. You ain't gonna have no depression, no regression, no suppression. You ain't gonna have none of that. But as long as you're going through things in life, you have to have a way to say, okay, I need this for me, right? You can have this. I'm willing to give you this, but I need this for me. And you'll know when you've given too much, because for me, and God knows I hate to admit to this, but for me, it was so bad I thought about suicide. I thought about not wanting to be here anymore because I needed something that I had given away, and I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back and get it back. I couldn't pull it back in. So I'm just like, man, forget this. I don't even want to be here no more.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, when you get to the point where you're just like, so it's because you're so depleted. So it's like you don't even feel like a full human being anymore. I'm sorry, John. I think you had something to say about that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. It's that giving from an empty place. Like, I'm loaning out love that I don't really have right now. I'm tapped out, and I'm loaning. Like, okay, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Can you get that back next week? You say something? No, nothing. That's all you. Dang, I really needed that. So that's one way. The hard way of figuring that out is the balance when you've burnt out, and you gotta pay attention to that. Oh,
yeah,
we gotta.
Yeah, girl.
Sorry, I have a question for Melissa, because she said she worked in healthcare. That's where she said I burned out. What part of healthcare? Nursing? What do you do? And I would love to know more about what you were doing.
I'm pretty sure Melissa's I think
she's a nurse.
Yeah, I
Is
think
she a
she's
nurse?
a nurse.
I can see that happening.
I feel like she worked in dialysis, like a dialysis center, I think.
I can see that.
Yes, just respond to dialysis technician. Ooh,
dialysis technician. Yeah, she's a dialysis technician. Yeah, you will get burnt out in the healthcare field. Like, it needs to be a whole switch out right now. Us nurses need to be switched out. Like my sister's nice sister said, sometimes I just be in my own little world at work. I just be trying to keep that one little nerve together, just holding on by a thread. Like, please don't do nothing. Just sit there. Like I don't. It's enough. After you've been in healthcare for a very long time, and I've seen the changes, and the changes are not good, you just be ready to go.
You know, something that we haven't really talked about though is how here. I'm sorry, my brain just went from one hamster to the complete other.
Me
Right? It
too.
happens all the time. So, talking about love and how to fill yourself back up with self love, right?
Mhm.
And since Mel asked, like, how do you balance, right? And then Israel said, you know, basically not giving of yourself, not too much, having your threshold and knowing like where your stopping point is. But
Mm.
some people have been conditioned to give and
And
give and give.
keep going.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so
my
what are
mother,
some ways? So what are some
my
ways that
mother.
everybody on here fills themselves back up? Like when they're not when they've given so much, how do you fill yourself back up with that love so you can give love out to everybody else? I mean, like just answering this question for the
I,
panelists. Yes, ma'am.
I'm the overtime queen. I stop working and just start working my regular days. I do not
Right.
put anything extra in. When that's what I know, I have to pull back and just focus on me. I have a little game that I like to play, which I'll be playing as soon as we get done here. Um, not that that's neither here nor there, but yeah, I don't work as much. I
Okay.
do not work as much, and my finances is taking a hit because guess what? I'm not working as much. I'm used to bringing home a certain amount every 2 weeks, but even the money, it ain't the money. It's not the money. It's just being able to relax and not feel stressed the hell out, not be being pulled in a million directions, not dealing with other people's personalities, just
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
What do you
know,
do? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a nurse and I
Yeah.
have 40 patients. 40 patients, 3 CNAs, and a CMT, and it gets tiresome after a while because you have those patients, you have the patient's family, you have other staff members, you got the whole building. And
Yeah.
I try to be as light and love as I possibly can coming through the door. I have wrote down on everybody's office, I am rich, because I'm tired. Every
Right.
time I go in somebody's office, I'm reminding myself, I'm rich. I don't work here. I'm just passing through. I,
That part.
I just to keep it, the nurturer. Yes, I am, but I'm at a point where I wanted somebody to nurture me.
Girl.
I didn't did it all my life, even being the oldest. While my mom was working, taking care of my brothers and sisters. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. If I could vacation for the rest of my life, I would.
So to be honest, your way of pouring back into yourself is to take a couple of trips,
A
maybe.
couple of trips pulled. I don't want to work for nobody else.
Well, I
That
heard that. I
period.
heard. I heard
Um,
that.
yeah, pull back.
Yeah.
My finance will take a hit, but it ain't the money.
Right.
I want the rest.
Yeah.
I
I was
want to
gonna.
be able to relax and chill and not doing, not being pulled. It's not the money. Yeah, I'm used to being able to do certain things, but when that mental kick in, I don't know. I just need to
Uh,
stop, you know. Yes, and
yeah.
you said, thank
I
you.
wanted to ask. I wanted to ask John and Creation and Ishmael the same thing. Like, what do you guys do to fill yourself back up with love? Like if it escapes, if it's been escaping you, how do you fill yourself back up?
Oh, well, for one, it's going to be unique to each individual. And these are self care rituals, self care practices, right? So even though it's unique to each individual, you need to have an inventory and you need to have plenty because sometimes those two or three that you got, if
They
all
don't
three of
need
them
no more.
fail and they ain't working,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
done, right?
yeah.
But I mean, personally, it's really the basics. It's my sleep, it's my nutrition, it's my fitness, it's my positive affirmations. Those are just some of the basics. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's when I'm playing the game. A lot of the times it's just me sitting and just being by myself. Man, being in Kuwait,
Recharging.
being in Kuwait, those 3 years, those were some of the best times of my life because I was alone.
Man,
Dude,
man.
I cannot get up and go.
No
If I was
kids, no
I'm
family,
lazy.
just
Yes.
That alone time,
yeah,
I come up with most of my ideas
yeah.
When
in the
you're just
bathroom, sitting in
recharging.
the toilet.
Living with yourself, being with
Man.
yourself, and whatever
In,
thoughts you
wait a
have.
minute, in the dark, because I don't like the light.
Oh dang! Nah.
Look, I was about to say, I'm like, she closed blinds?
I don't know
Okay.
about the
No,
dark.
weird. Turn the light
Right.
off. That's how I came up with God level. I was on the toilet and I came out. I was like, Trey. I was like, Trey, because I visualized the whole thing. I said, do you mind if I take this and use this? He said, Mama, go ahead.
Girl.
I
So-
come up with a lot of my ideas.
Come up with mine in the
Creation?
shower, but we don't talk. But yeah, creation. What do you do to fill yourself back up?
A long time. You know, if yeah, a long time.
That's it.
My long time.
You gotta recharge.
Yeah, that's how I recharge. Quiet. I don't want music. I don't hear nothing. I just don't talk to me.
You don't want to hear
man,
nothing.
that
You
part.
want the silence to be the only sound.
Yeah.
Here.
Definitely. Oh, and you, Israel? I mean, 'cause,
I honestly haven't learned as of yet. I don't know. I really, because, and the reason I say that is because the battle is, for me, is the only way I feel like I can is to change who I am as a person.
ooh.
I care so much about people. Like, it's hard to deal with people and not give them everything. So for me, I don't know how to as of yet. That's something I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still working on because I'm not ready to change who I am.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I call myself a reformed people pleaser because my life was all about, I'm the oldest, the oldest girl. And if you're the oldest girl, you're always just taught to care for everybody else. You got to take care of your brothers. You got to take care of your family, blah, 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 blah. Right.
Yes.
And,
yes.
and remember, I told you guys 3 years ago, I went through a major thing where I completely broke down and I had to take 6 months away from the mortal coil because if not, and Israel, don't be ashamed because I was there too. I was at that point where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I've talked about this before, but I had to learn how to say no. And for me, taking my power back and saying no is what helps me to trust myself. That trusting in myself helps me to refill myself with my own love. Being able to say that this is not serving me in this moment, And I've found that when I do that, when I'm able to say that this is off limits for you, and this is and trusting myself more, and doing things that make me trust myself more, and finding my dopamine every day, that's what helps me feel myself. Yeah. And so every day I wake up, and I think I told you guys when we did ADHD a long time ago, I wake up and I chase dopamine like it owes me money or it pimps like my mama. Dead serious. That's what helps me find self-love every day is feeling the dopamine, baby. That's
Wait a
it.
minute. Not pimp smack my mama.
Like it pimp slap my
Oh
mama.
my
Dead
God.
serious.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, I chase the dopamine. That's what helps me with my self-love. Lesson of love that you are still learning today. We can transition into that one because
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will. He will.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, yeah.
I like it.
What is the
Mhm.
lesson of love that you are still learning today?
We'll let this be the last one because I know we're at our time.
I'm not going to answer that.
Ooh, creation, go ahead and answer it. Creation, I answer it.
You on mute, honey. You just over there just
She's just shaking her head.
muting away.
I can't answer it. I don't. What is a lesson
of love
that you are still learning today?
today?
You.
You can love. It's okay to love from a distance.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay,
Okay.
yeah. Stay on
That's
board.
getting written down.
Yeah. You know, you don't have to be up close and personal. You know, love from a distance.
Anyone else?
Oprah said, I can still love you and miss you every day, but
Don't
still
have-
feel peace that I am not directly in your way, that
Mm.
I am not in your, yeah. So I actually, yeah. The lesson I'm learning about love is that it evolves. Like we've been talking about, like here, it evolves. It evolves. Like, Mr. McGee said, hey, that 70s love is different from that 2023 love,
I've never
So,
heard it put that way, but looking back, it's like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, I don't think it's a lesson. It's not so much a lesson for me. I think what it is I'm still in the running to experience something in love that I haven't ever had in my life. So I guess that could be considered a lesson. But you know, for me, my prayer is just to one day just understand what unconditional love feels like.
mm,
I don't think it's so much about it. I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? Even if I just pull back the curtain and just look at it. Even if it never enters me, I just want to be able to see and experience what that is.
Do you unconditionally love yourself?
Thank you.
ours.
Have
You
you?
took it right out of my head.
I
You took it
think
right out of my head.
I think that so let's do it like this. Let's do it percentage wise, right? So 100% being, of course, the greatest. So I will probably say I'm about 53% there.
Wow.
I'm about 53% there. And that other 47 is just me dealing with the things that we have talked about tonight, right? Just dealing with those things, understanding how not to give so much of who I am as an individual to somebody who's given very little in return. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna be quiet. But I always talk about the things that a pimp taught me when I was younger, right? I always talk about these things. And one of the things he made me understand was about deposits and withdrawals, all right, in life, right? And he told me, he said, you can never allow somebody to withdraw from you more than they deposit, right? He was just like, you have to always keep your emotional, mental count balanced, just like you would a checkbook. Now, at the tender age of 10 or 11, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I really didn't. But as I've gotten older, I understand the bank of emotions, and I understand the deposits and the withdrawals that you have to have balance when you're dealing with people, and that's been the biggest issue for me as a man in my life because I've always been willing to deposit more and let people withdraw. You know what I'm saying? And that's the balance that I have to find.
That's the conditioning of our people.
Come on, man. You need to write a book on a pimp named Slickback. Like dead serious. Because his lessons,
Slip back.
baby. Say it like a Tribe Called Quest. A pimp named Slickback. You need to write a book on
Yeah,
all the lessons that he taught you. Because every time you
seriously.
say a pimp taught me, I'm like,
Well, he's pimp. I don't want to meet him, but damn, he sounds too influential to me.
I know. I'm telling
Wait a minute.
you.
Wait a minute, Pimp Daddy. I don't move like that.
I'm telling you, man. Every time he opened his mouth and say a pimp taught me, got them right
Yeah,
there.
that's. Do you know how many views we got on that? Everybody was like, "Oh my god!" On TikTok,
Yeah.
they was like, "Oh my god, did he really say that?" I was like,
Yes.
"He did, he did."
Yes.
So yeah, thank you for that.
That is so
I think
fair.
that's pretty much it. What is the lesson of love that you are still learning today? Yeah. Ivy, did you answer that question already?
Oh, I think I already said it. That is just
Yeah.
cyclical. It evolves. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Kelly said the same thing. Josh said, I am incapable of receiving love from anyone if I do not love myself. It all
Say that,
starts.
man. Say
Mm,
that.
Those are
Um,
facts. Facts.
man,
that's a hard.
can you
Yeah.
really love somebody without
Mhm.
loving yourself?
No
You
way.
cannot. Because
Can
Mm,
Maya Angelou said, oh, I love these quotes. Maya Angelou said, be wary of a naked man that offers you a shirt.
Ooh. There. Yeah.
Baby, I took that quote hard when she said that. I said, what?
be wary of a naked man that offers you a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
All of them? Yeah, all
okay.
of them. And I took that quote hard, man. I'm telling you. Because how you gonna tell somebody if somebody tells you that they love you, but they don't love themselves?
right. Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I want to
So
thank you all.
You're gonna find out the easy or the hard way.
Yeah.
that part.
Nadia said she learned that love is not conditional. To me, most people cannot fathom the condition. Also, there are different types of love, not just one across the board. Um, yeah, Josephine said the same thing. Raphael said sometimes when you love someone, you have to love them enough to leave them alone. Love
Yeah.
from distance, right?
Love them
Uh,
enough to see them happy with someone else.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Knowing that you aren't what's best or right for them and being able to keep your distance. This is a level of love that some won't understand. Yep.
Facts.
Yeah.
That is facts.
I love you whether it involves me or not. I love you whether it benefits me or not.
That's what's up. I know
Hmm.
you got something hot for us tonight. I'm already knowing.
Oh,
Oh
are we?
man.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Well, we at 142. So before
Okay.
because I try to keep be respectful of everyone's time. Um, tonight's topic was what does love mean to you? I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you to Mr. Mack who called in. He be dropping.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bars.
Boys. Yeah,
Bars.
Yeah.
stay tuned for our quotes tomorrow and the day after and the day after that and the day after that. You might see yours in there every day because he dropped it. He dropped it. I want to thank Mr. Israel for coming on at short notice. I contacted this man at 6:23
Oh, hello.
and he agreed. I said, well, we're getting ready to go on. He agreed to be here because I know Newborn is taking care of King Newborn business and Saba Diamond is taking care of Saba Diamond business. And I was like, and there wasn't no disrespect toward John because I know he can handle himself. But I threw an extra man. I threw an extra man.
Yeah, but it was definitely where. Yeah, he was a great choice though. So
Oh
yeah.
man. Oh man.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Dropping
where it
bars
came
too.
from. You just literally popped in my head, and I was like, and here you are.
Always a blessing to be thought of.
And you drop bars tonight too, mister.
You
Yes, you did.
did from
Mhm.
beginning to end. I was like,
Man.
okay, this really worked out. This really worked out. Thank you. Thank you for accepting such a late invitation
Hmm.
um, to the show. I want to shout out Crafted Condiments, CCC. Hey, we just gonna go with it. She might want to use that CCC. I want some of that hot sauce. I hope she found us on Facebook so we can post her business and everything so everybody can get some of this hot sauce. And I hope to see her on Amazon soon. Girl, go. Again, there's a myth floating around that Black people don't support Black businesses. Yes, we do. If you have one, contact either Master John Skywalker, me, Ivy Turner, Creation Divine, Amanda Fuller, King Newborn, Saba Diamond. Get your information over to us. We will give you the first, 5, 10, 15 minutes of the beginning of this show to pump up your business no matter what city or state time zone you're in, we want to see our people do well. Period. We are of service to the community.
Facts.
All right. I'm lost now. What do I do next?
John,
Look,
what you doing?
I went straight biting on you all.
I mean, I got something, right? But it's old, okay? And me and old pieces are like,
John, what you got for us?
be with me.
It's gonna be fire.
Free
We already know.
love. I'm talking about a love that's liberating. Emancipation got me feeling weightless. Been on the wait list for this so long, I was getting impatient, pacing with my heart palpitations kicking like a drum by the bum. I miss the rush. Unfamiliar I've become with the feeling of my heart racing as it's chasing a high. But let me slow down, try to be gracious, because at least it's not breaking. Skirt. I mean, a love so amazing I could put it on a playlist, play it for 7 decades and never rewind. And it would still sound like it's ahead of its time at that time. Envisioning my ear breathing in her heartbeat, in sync with the rhythm of my soul. Thank God it's on repeat. Lovers don't fight, we resolve the tension. Only time we go toe to toe is when we're kissing. Mwah, yeah, making out the makeup so much that she naturally blush without the makeup. And I love it when her face is naked. So alive, eyes like the book of Revelations, a mystery. Hope I could take the tea from that because it would sound like misery. And I love staring at her cheeks till I don't know how to act. Smile so big, a brother could see it from the back. Hey, love. Gorgeous temple you have, but I'm trying to see what you're made of. What's your life path? Where you came from? She's my twin flame and we're from the same sun, living young because dying gets old. The warmth of her voice in a world so cold speaks volumes. Have it turned down for what? That's passion. Fireplace glow emanating from her vault coals. Let it be. That's the melody telling me to be a better God like entity. Love till infinity. Whether or not we stay together in the flesh, we overcome death, looking at heaven like, what's next? As our bodies are released, as our souls are released from our bodies like breath through the nose, refresh, drama on the reject as we rest. My chest as her head rests. At the beach, the waters tickle our feet. She's just mad amazing. Even hip to Japanimation and meditation, advanced in her education, such a scholar, yeah. I'm feeling like Marvin Gaye some days because she makes me want to holla. Got me thinking about kids, perfect names for a daughter, dang. When it comes to knowing me, she's the savviest, makes me want to redefine happiness. Like when we're breathing the same air, drowning in the covers with her hair looking wild and rugged. But I smile because I love it, so natural and vulnerable. My fingers in her scalp as I rub it. No clothes, no stressing, eating breakfast, feeding each other, watching Netflix. Living the dream even got a simple ring because expensive habits can ruin the simple things. And yeah, I understand. Some people won't understand. Some sisters don't know their worth. Some brothers don't give a damn. Some sisters don't want a man. They'd rather have a lifestyle. Some guys just want a fat ass with a nice smile. That's why I gave myself a second chance, open my third eye, love at the first glance. So excuse the arrogance. They say God forgives, so I guess I am free love. Salute. Not too bad.
So,
I'm
oh my God. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Always come up with the fire, son.
Yeah, always. And I don't know if are people paying attention that everything that he talks about is related to the topic
All the time.
all the
All
time.
the
I
time.
know I do.
All the time.
luck. Lucky. I'm on a winning streak right now until something comes up.
Well, wait a minute. So next week we are doing police brutality. We didn't went from love, the highest frequency. Now we're traveling down this rabbit hole. And then after police brutality, we're doing human trafficking. I don't know if anyone's checked out that premiere for The Sounds of Freedom. That's our homework before we
Is it heavy?
child sex trafficking is a $34 billion industry.
Oh my goodness.
We're
They
gonna
have
talk about it.
surpassed airport. They're getting ready to surpass the armed dealers. They're getting ready to surpass the drug cartel too as well. Is getting really serious. Please, we gonna go heavy in on that, because that then we're just talking about it to bring awareness. Pay attention to your children. Yeah, they said it's growing like that. So yeah, we got some heavy topics, and we're breaking them down in part 1 and part 2, because you can't just talk about something like that one time. So
We
yeah,
gonna
I
talk
want to
about
thank
it.
you. Huh?
Yeah, we gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. All right, thank you. I guess that's it. We will see you all back here next week. Thank you for jumping in on tonight's live. Thank you to our special guest, Israel. Thank you to my co-host, John Skywalker, Ivy Tanner. Yeah, and Creation Divine. We will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Yes, I do. Laters, y'all.